Hello everyone, I'm John Finley and I'm asking for your vote to be your representative of the 32nd District. I got here in 1972, stepped off a Greyhound bus. I wasn't born here. My dad doesn't live here. He died in 1964. Everything I've done since, I've done on my own 2 feet. I got off that bus with a suitcase, a camera inside, a couple of changes of clothes, a revolver or 2, and 40 bucks in my pocket. I had a job the next day, and I've been working like heck ever since, although I left my last regular employment in 1986 when I bought a business that was going bankrupt and proceeded in 3 years to turn it around, sell it at a profit, and I had another business already started in the back room, which I ran for another 18 years. This isn't exactly a rags to riches story, but it's as close as I can get. In the time I've been here, my wife and I of 30 years raised 2 children. The youngest one at 23, a graduate of Iowa State University. The oldest one at 26 is presently studying physical therapy and works at a nursing home right here in town. In the process of building the businesses I built, I got a crash course in economics and dealing with banks and dealing with regulators. Building businesses up from nothing, just the change in your pocket and the customer's money, is an experience that everybody should try once. In fact, I would like to wish upon the tax regulation enforcers in this district benefit from an ancestor or somebody who would leave them a small business in their will, so for a few years in their old age they might enjoy living with the regulations the rest of us put up with every day. On my way to small business, I worked on farms. I was an auto mechanic. I was a newspaper reporter. I was a photographer. I shot a lot of weddings around here and got to where I was shooting grandchildren's weddings of people I had shot earlier weddings. I've also been a college student for the last 30 years, on and off when I feel like it, and I've graduated from 2 trade schools. I'm presently still a college student, having re-enrolled at the University of Whitewater. Just in case you don't vote for me, I've got someplace to go in September. However, if you do vote for me, I guess I'll just have to put off college for a few more years and serve you in the 32nd District. Thank you very much. My most recent read, which I reread from time to time, is Shogun. It's a fascinating story about a gentleman whose ship gets wrecked. He lands in Japan and onward. The first proposal I covered already. Every elected official in the state of Wisconsin would take a 50% pay cut until the unemployment level is below 5%, and we would call that good times. People could pay taxes, feed their kids, pay their mortgages, and then when things got better, we would bring the pay scale of the public officials back up to where it is today. Now, it might sound like a real crimp for an elected official in the state of Wisconsin to live on, say, $22,000 a year, but I'll bet there's a lot of people in Walworth County that used to call that a real living. The economy is like a plugged sewer at the moment. We have poured a ton of money in at the top on the banks, and the banks have been using the money to buy each other up as they fail. As of June, 81 banks have failed in the United States of America. That's pretty close to what happened in any year during the Great Depression. And we might be on the edge of another Great Depression. We need to call the bank presidents together, all the state banks, and the state of Wisconsin and the banks need to work together to come up with a mortgage system that will not shortchange the sellers and the banks, but will allow the people, until again the unemployment rate drops under 5%, to pay 2% and 3% loans on their properties, keep their properties, stay in their properties, and keep the lights on and the curtains in the windows. That would promote some peace of mind among the general public. A looming crisis about to happen that anybody in small business understands is that most of the business loans in Wisconsin and the rest of America are on 3-year notes. You get a letter one day in the mail that says, please bring $97,000 down to the Walworth State Bank on Monday. Well, you signed to that 3-year balloon, that's how you raise the money. But a funny thing is happening. You're getting back in there and they say your loan to value doesn't match up, we're going to refuse the loan. There is going to be an avalanche of foreclosures and business closings if we don't do something about the business financing of the state of Wisconsin. As one of the only 2 elected officials sitting up here at the moment, I'm not presently in office, but I know how it feels. In fact, some of the complaints are still coming in. I'm here to tell you that occasionally you're going to borrow, and you're going to borrow long term. We had, actually in Minnesota, they had a large bridge collapse, a year or so ago. 13 people died. Cars tossed into the river like toys. Multi-billion-dollar repair because maintenance was not done, or maybe it was a faulty design. I'll bet the engineers are still figuring it out. But I tell you what, every time I go over a bridge in Wisconsin, Missouri, Illinois, or anywhere else, I think about that bridge just going down while those people were driving down the road on their way to work. Therefore, there are times fixing bridges, doing infrastructure, in a small city like Delavan, a water tower and treatment plant can cost $5 to $10 million. If you're not going to borrow the money, then you're going to tax the people in 1 or 2 years to raise that money. Those of us that have actually fought out the budgets and added up the numbers and had to light the streetlights and plow the streets know that there are times that you will borrow to make things work.